2, 3, 4.
Run up your engines! Now, if you don't have much money and you're looking for the perfect beater car, you can't beat this thing. It's a 95 Toyota Camry, and it may be beaten up, but it still goes. Yes, it does have some mileage on it. 240,000 miles to be exact. And the key no longer unlocks the door. So, it was rigged. And here's how it was rigged. The key still works in the trunk for some reason. And what do we have here? Well, there's a string. And when you pull on the string, it then unlocks the back door. No, I'm not making this up. Now, the only problem is the back door handle's broken too. So, you gotta kind of fish inside to get it out, and then voila! Well, there's the string to lock and unlock the door. I'm not making this up. How does it go? Necessity is the mother of invention. Now, if he wants to leave the car unlocked, it works perfectly fine. But to lock it, he locks them all, and then you come through the trunk and pull the string. It's just like a Rube Goldberg car, but it still goes down the road. Sure, the black paint is all fading, has been touched up with flat black paint, you know. Like I say, this door handle's broken off. The hubcaps leave a little bit to be desired. They've kind of faded. And if you look closely, the paint doesn't match anymore either on the bumper. And of course, the automatic antenna's broken too. And the paint's a little faded off here. Because as you can see, this car was originally silver, and somebody painted it black. Yet another reason you don't change color of cars. But hey, this is a beater car. And as it is painted black, it's like the perfect beater car. When we look inside, hey, the cloth seats, a little rip here, but the other ones are still in really good shape. Back seat too. And being a Camry, let's start it up. Starts right up. AC still blows, freezing cold, although it kind of smells like a tree here. And being a Toyota, power windows still work, although it doesn't have any sound. Somebody stole the radio a long time ago on this thing. One of these poorly put on steering wheel covers, because the old ones, as you can see underneath, faded away. But hey, it still steers perfectly fine. But it makes a great beater car. What's it doing here? Well, he said it's got a problem with it overheating. So I'm going to show you how you can fix any overheating car, and especially a beater car that you don't want to put too much money into. Now, anytime a car's overheating, you do some basic stuff. Open the hood. Now, I know these lifts aren't going to work, so let's get a stick. There we go. That's nice and strong. So, first thing, let's check the coolant. And, okay, coolant's empty. You can't even see it. So it's losing coolant. Now, since we just tested it, we'll just fill it with water first. No sense wasting antifreeze. Wow, this thing's low. It'll just evaporate because of a bad radiator cap. But you see, somebody's tried that. That's brand new. So there's nothing wrong with its cap. So the next thing we're going to check, see if the radiator fans are working. So we'll go inside the car. Got the window open, so we'll start it up. Then turn the AC on full blast. Now on this Toyota with the AC on full blast, the cooling fans should soon come on. We'll see if they work. And as we can see, they're both turning. They got plenty of air going through them. So the cooling fans are not the problem. They're blowing air. As I always say, start with the simple, obvious things first. You can check all kinds of things and later find, oh, the fans aren't working. The fans are real easy to check. So it's losing coolant. The fans are working. So what else could be wrong? Well, it could have a leak. So I'll take the cap off. And I was going to pressure test the cooling system. But in this case, when I took that cap off, it went hiss. This thing sat all weekend. Engine's ice cold. If it's got pressure building up in it already, before the engine's even warmed up, this thing could have a blowing head gasket. So then we're gonna go to the head gasket test immediately, because that could be exactly what's happening. It does have 240,000 miles on it. Even though it's a Toyota, everything eventually breaks. And no one knows what number owner this is. The kid just bought it. So he could be the 10th owner, I don't know. We're gonna test to see if the head gasket is leaking, because if that's leaking, then all bets are off. He's not gonna have the money to pay for a job like that. He doesn't want to put that kind of money in a car. And we'd stop right there. Now, I've got a whole video on this on YouTube, but basically, you get one of these combustion leak test kits. Amazon sells them on sale for about 30 bucks. Then you get the block leak and you pour it in, up to the line. See how it's blue? Up to the line. The top on it, get it tight, and stick it on top of the radiator. Then start the car, and you do the test. You watch the color with a vacuum pump. we suck it through and see if it changes. And as you can see, it's starting to change color. It's no longer blue, it's starting to turn clear and then yellow. If it had turned yellow immediately, you know, it was really bad. So this head gasket is just starting to blow. It's no longer dark blue, it's starting to turn yellow. So this test is both bad and somewhat good. What this tests for is carbon dioxide. If you have carbon dioxide in the radiator, that means somewhere the inside of the engine, either the head gasket or the head, there's a leak and combustion gas is getting into the radiator. It hasn't turned bright yellow immediately, so it's just starting. Since this is a beater car, and admittedly maybe not the great beater car I thought it might have been, we're gonna put some head gasket sealer in, see how long it lasts. So we're gonna try this Bars Leak Block Seal. As it says on the bottle, they're totally honest, head gasket sealant is scientifically formulated to permanently seal coolant leaks that are the cause of most overheating problems. For most vehicles, this is the last chance before going to a junkyard or paying an expensive repair bill. Works efficiently on cast iron, aluminum blocks, or heads. Stuff does work. And conveniently for us, this is only to be used with pure water. You can't use it with antifreeze. Well, this thing only has water in it now anyway, so we'll fill it up and we'll run it and see what happens. We'll start it up to get it flowing. And we'll keep pouring it. Now this stuff is pretty thick, so here's a trick. You can dilute it with some water, you got water in there anyways, and then shake it up. It'll go in easier. Just remember to shake it up so it mixes with water. Then we'll put the radiator cap back on. Do a little cycling. No, not bicycling, but cycling. What we want to do is, we have the AC on full blast, so the cooling fans are working. We'll let it sit here and idle for half an hour. Then we'll shut it off for half an hour. Then we'll start it up and idle it for half an hour. And we'll do that maybe 6 times. Then let it cool overnight, fill it up with water, and then see what happens. Since we kind of caught this in the bud, it's just starting to leak. Sometimes these sealers can last for years. Considering that he paid practically nothing for this car, you're not going to rebuild the engine for thousands of dollars. That'd be foolhardy. Sometimes the sealer will last. Silica based, kind of fuses in. I've had pretty good luck with it. Just like the can says, it's the junkyard, this, or spending thousands. It's up to you, and we're just gonna gamble on this one and see what happens. It's getting too cold. We'll turn that down a little and back it up and take it for a ride. So far, so good. The temperature gauge is pretty normal here. Now, if you look closely, you can see a little bit of smoke burning out of the back. Tiny bit of smoke, and I can smell a little burning coolant. But it's smoking a lot less than it did when I first started it up. And knowing the strengths of these 4-cylinder Camry engines, especially back in 1995, I got a good feeling that this will work for quite some time. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Jesse's not here, 62 says, I got a Mini Cooper S. It's overheating and nobody can figure out what's wrong with it. I've been to 3 mechanics and they can't figure out why it's overheating. They said the fans work, the coolant's fine, help. You know, I fixed one recently like that. I got out my infrared heat gun. It's a little gun and it's got a laser pointer and it measures temperatures. And I went to the radiator, I found out that certain parts of the radiator were cool, others were hot. Now, when they're cool and others are hot, that means the cool part has a restriction in it, so there's something wrong. Well, in the case of this Mini S, I took the radiator out and thought, this thing isn't very old. It was only like a year old. I started flushing it out, and all this crud came out, sand. And as far as I could figure it was casting sand. When they cast the engines, they had sand, and whoever worked on the vehicle didn't get the sand out of the engine cooling ducts. So then they ended up migrating that sand into the radiator where it settled in the bottom, and then it overheated. So you might want to check that. I mean, basically it shows the poor quality of Mini construction, which doesn't surprise me at all, because I see it all the time in their parts. But that was an oddball, and does show you how these temperature guns can really come in handy, because you look at a radiator, you see it not leaking, and there it is. You might think it's fine, but by checking it with one of these temperature guns, if you find there's certain areas that are cold and the rest is hot, well, relatively, like if it's 200 over here and it's only like 110 over here, you know, the colder part's got some kind of restriction. There's something wrong inside. They're real handy devices. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.